A couple months ago, I got a call from my good friend Jonathan Sindelman, who's a keyboard player that I had played with a while back now, maybe 9 years ago in LA. He called me, asking me if I was interested in playing a gig in Wichita Falls, Texas in September. It was for this guy, Robert Rodriguez. Yeah, I'm in. I hang up the phone, do some research, and I discovered that Robert Rodriguez is a filmmaker, and he writes all the songs for his films, a bunch of really famous movies, and I start listening to that and get excited, jam a little bit with it, just play all these songs over and over until I get the set list, because Jonathan hadn't sent me the set list yet. But I just got familiar with that and started working on, the most popular songs from Robert Rodriguez. I feel really good about it, and then I get the set list and I don't recognize the songs at all. I don't recognize the style either, because I got some samples. I had the wrong Robert Rodriguez. So that's fine. However, now, at this point, I don't have much time to prepare for the gig. And at the time of filming this video, the gig is in just a few weeks. So I had to completely forget about the music that I had prepared and started working on the real Robert Rodriguez's music. And it's all good, it's great, but I have a limited time now. So I thought I'd make a video sharing with you some of the few things that I do when I'm in that situation where I have to prepare for a gig really quickly, and hopefully this will help you. Let's get started. My first tip is applicable for any gig, whether you have a long time to prepare for it or a very short amount of time. Most of the preparation happens outside of your guitar space. It happens for me in the car, typically. I will play the songs over and over and over without even necessarily knowing the chords, just getting familiar with the songs, associating the name of the song with what you're hearing, just getting comfortable so that there's no more surprises. You know the lyrics, you get a feel for the new section of the song, just really getting comfortable with those songs until those songs become almost like classics for you. That's pretty much all I play in my car these days, to get really comfortable and familiar with those songs. That makes the work on the guitar much, much faster when it comes time to working out these songs. My next step is to chart out those songs. So I have my little notebook here, and I just make a quick chart, and I try to keep these charts one chart per page. Sometimes I might need to, repeat some sections, so I'm going to add some repeat signs. This really helps me have a one-sheet picture, a mental picture of what the song is about. Now, the good news in particular with gigs like the one in Texas with Robert's gig, is that some of these songs are very jam-orientated. A lot of the parts in the songs are kind of made up with the ensemble of musicians getting together. It's more of a feel, more of a groove. There are very few parts, maybe 2 parts typically, that are going over and over. Some of the songs just have 1 part, and that's great. That makes my job much easier, which kind of gets into another thing that has really helped me preparing for gigs. Don't try to replicate everything note per note. You're gonna waste your time. People are not really gonna care unless there's a section that is really, really important, and typically you want to extract no more than 2 really important key moments of the song. So for example, this song there that you're hearing, one of the important things I think that we need for the song to work is that arpeggio part. So it's kind of a looping part that comes back in the song over and over. That hook, to me, really makes the song, so that's an essential thing I will spend time working on, committing that to memory. But besides that, you want 1 or 2 parts like that in the song if you're working in those kind of gigs, and that's pretty much it. You don't want to learn everything note per note. So it's kind of a combination of knowing the structure of the song, because you've heard it, because you charted it out, and then having those key moments, if necessary, in the song. Now, those key moments, typically I like to color code my charts. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm gonna have my chart on stage with me. I'm gonna try not to, and I shouldn't. However, once I have my charts on my notebook, the active physical aspect of color coding things, so for example, for that hook, I will color code the chart, showing me exactly when, well, it's backwards, when that hook should appear. And that really helps me doing that work, because later when I'm playing this, or when I will play this with the band for the rehearsal in September, I can go back mentally and visually to the time when I'm physically drawing, with a color, piece of color where those hooks happen, I can visualize that in my mind, and that'll make things much easier. Okay, once I have that, I'm gonna talk about sounds a little bit. This can really be different from player to player, but I really like to keep things extremely simple because the gig is soon, and I really want to focus on playing with the other musicians, becoming part of this thing that will happen. I've never met the musicians before. I've met Jonathan, but I haven't met the other guys, and we've never rehearsed this stuff. So I'm just learning the structure, getting there prepared. I want to make sure that I have enough flexibility, enough freedom to not be completely locked into the sounds, for example, or the parts that I'm working on here that are going off of the recordings that I got. I want to keep this organic thing because music, as you know, is an experience. It's a language. The songs, even though they're written, I want them to sound a little bit different depending on who's playing the songs. That was something that Jonathan told me on the phone too. Like, if you're hired to do something exactly, well, you should. But for gigs like that, Jonathan told me to be myself. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn the songs and play them as if David is playing them with the other group of people. So that's really important, I think. Back to the sounds. I'm not gonna spend too much time trying to get the right sounds, the exact sounds of the recordings. I want to create sounds that are easy for me to navigate. And in this case, I just have a clean sound that I'm gonna use and a lead sound. That's it. On the clean sound, I have a little bit of drive, which allows me to clean it up or not with my volume knob. And I have some reverb and delay, a tap switch delay, so that I can tap it. I don't want to program the BPM because we're not going to play with a click. I want to be able to tap that to match the drummer, and that's what I want to do. I want to have flexibility, good sounds that I feel comfortable with, but not be too locked into those sounds. And because this is a fly gate, I want to travel super light. So I'm bringing, for this one, I'm going to bring my Fractal Audio Axe 8. And I thought about bringing the Blue Guitar Amp 1, which I did a video on a few days ago, but I'm not yet super familiar with it. So I'm going to wait. I'll probably use it in upcoming gigs if I have any, which rarely happens. However, I'm going to bring the Axe 8 here. Those are really the essential parts. Anything extra is cherry on top of the cake, but really those are the must-haves, I think. And really, if I had to pick one, it's just listening to the songs over and over, because all the other stuff, the process, should come naturally eventually. Because guitar is, as you know, the tool. The music comes from inside. I say this on the channel all the time, but it's inside that you have those ideas, whether you are doing some improv or just whether you're playing known songs. It's the same thing. You've got the musical thought of something you've heard before or something that you're hearing on the spot, and then it's just using your instrument to bring those things out. When I'm talking to you, I don't have to think about how to do all those movements to create the sounds. It just comes out naturally. So all the time spent on the instrument is going to do that. It's going to speed up the process so that eventually all you need to do is just listen to the songs. I read an article about Mike Portnoy, and that's pretty much what he does when he's working with Neil Morse, for example, learning the songs for a tour or something like that. Well, he'll just listen, sometimes without even playing before the gig. And then his technique is already there. If he can hear it in his head, he can play it. That's the ultimate goal. I talked to Robert about the show, and he said that it's not only a live all-day event with multiple bands from Wichita Falls, but it's also virtual. It's going to be filmed and streamed live, and you can grab tickets if you are interested. It's $10 for the full day, the full event, and you can watch it from the comfort of your home. It happens September 4th. I'm gonna leave the link below if you'd like to check it out. And if not, I hope that you have gigs and that you enjoy gigging. I don't do it enough. I hope to change that soon. Thanks for watching this, and I hope to see you in Wichita Falls maybe on September 4th. Practice well, and if you want to stick around for another video, this one might help. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Okay, my intros are getting worse and worse.